I've never chased that raven before, not in nearly 20 years. But the night I finally did, a little girl made it home alive. I know how that sounds. If someone had told me the same story, I'd have smiled politely and changed the subject. Every Halloween, just before sunset, that bird would land on the same old wooden fence outside my farmhouse. Same fence, same quiet stare. Then, after a few minutes, it'd fly off, never came close enough to touch, never took food from my hand, just watched. I'm a retired carpenter. I spent my whole life believing that if something didn't fit together, there had to be a practical reason. So I never turned the raven into some ghost story. Maybe it liked the fence. Maybe it liked the view. That's all I told myself. Still, it always seemed to show up when life shifted somehow. The year my roof gave way in a storm, it was there. The morning I decided to sell my old workshop but couldn't go through with it, there it was again. Coincidence? Probably. That's what I kept saying. Then came that Halloween. Kids were laughing down the road. Parents were walking around in costumes. I was handing out candy until it got quiet. Right before sunset, I looked out the window. And there it was. Only this time, it didn't leave. It hopped along the fence, looked back at me, flew a short distance, landed again, then looked back. Honestly, I ignored it at first, but it kept doing it. Tell me, wouldn't you get curious after 20 years? So I grabbed my flashlight and followed. Not because I thought the bird was leading me somewhere. I figured maybe it had found food or gotten tangled in fishing line. I don't know. I just followed. The farther we went, the quieter everything became. No music, no kids, just leaves under my boots and that raven waiting every so often, never too far ahead. Then I heard it, a tiny voice. At first I thought it was the wind. Then I heard crying. Behind a fallen oak sat a little girl dressed as a witch, hugging her knees so tightly she could barely breathe. She'd wandered away from her family's Halloween gathering after chasing other kids through the trees. By the time she realized she was lost, it was getting dark. She looked at me like she'd never been so relieved to see another person. I carried her part of the way until we reached the trail. Before long, we heard people shouting her name. I've never seen fear turn into relief so fast. Her mother nearly collapsed when she saw us. And the raven? Gone. Just gone. The sheriff later told me search volunteers had been looking in the wrong direction. If I'd stayed home another half hour, they might not have found her until much later. Out there after dark, even a small forest can feel enormous. People in town started saying that Raven had saved her. I never say that. Birds notice things people miss. They know where there's movement, noise, food, trouble. Maybe it was simply flying through the woods, and I happened to follow at exactly the right moment. That's the explanation that lets me sleep. But here's the part I still think about. It's been years since that night. Every Halloween, just before sunset, the raven still lands on that same old fence. We're both older now. It watches me for a minute or two, then flies away. I don't chase it anymore. I just stand there and wonder how many lonely people, human or otherwise, have been given a second chance because someone decided to follow their curiosity instead of walking back inside. And every time those wings disappear beyond the trees, I quietly hope that somewhere they're arriving exactly where they're needed next.